After spending like maybe 200 hours with the original Fallout games, and probably well over 1,000 hours if we include the newer Fallout games from Bethesda and Obsidian, I think I've played enough to have a pretty solid opinion on the series. And honestly, if I had to pick my favorite between the first two Fallout games, I'd probably pick Fallout 1. And in this video, I'll try to explain why. There's always something special about the first game in a series. You get that with movies, books, games, pretty much everything. And obviously, there's no argument that Fallout 2 is the more polished game. In nearly every way imaginable, it's roughly 3 times as long as Fallout 1. You've got a bigger world, more NPCs, more quests, more weapons, and much more refined RPG systems. So it's completely understandable why most people would simply prefer Fallout 2. You could look at Fallout 1 as the first step, the first attempt at creating what would eventually become the perfect Fallout RPG. And in many ways, Fallout 2 is exactly that. But here's the thing. I actually think the junkiness of Fallout 1, the fact that it doesn't feel completely polished, is one of the things that makes it so unique. At least, that's how I see it. Because when you consider that we're talking about a game released in 1997, a game whose development started all the way back in early 1994, it's honestly kind of surprising how well Fallout 1 still holds up today. And apart from the obvious nostalgia of playing the original, there's another big reason why I prefer Fallout 1 over its sequel. And that's the main story. I just find the whole premise of the super mutant threat and your search for the water chip much more memorable than Fallout 2's story about the Enclave wanting to take over the world. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Fallout 2 absolutely destroys Fallout 1 when it comes to the writing of its side quests. There's just so much more going on. But the main story of Fallout 1, that's something that sticks with you, even long after you've finished the game. At least it did for me. And then, of course, there's the Master, the main antagonist of Fallout 1, and probably one of the most memorable and best-written characters in the entire Fallout universe. And honestly, I'm not sure Fallout 2 has a character that comes close. The third reason is actually the game's length. A full playthrough takes somewhere around 15 to 25 hours if you do most of the quests and spend some time exploring the wasteland. By today's standards, that's considered pretty short. I used to think so too. But the older I get, the more I appreciate games that actually know when to end. Take Skyrim, for example. It's one of my favorite RPGs ever. I've spent hundreds of hours playing it, just like millions of other people. But I've only actually completed the main story and most of the side content once. Why? Because it took me nearly a month. And honestly, I don't really feel like spending another month doing it all over again. Fallout 1 is different. I've finished it around 5 times already, and I know I'll probably play it again in the future. A big reason for that is replayability. Different character builds, different perks, different dialogue options, different ways to solve quests. All of that makes each playthrough feel noticeably different. And that's something I think most of modern RPGs are missing, because games today seem obsessed with being as massive as possible. Games have become bigger and bigger, but not necessarily better because of it. Sometimes I'd rather have a fantastic 20-hour RPG that I can replay several times than a 200-hour game I'll probably only finish once. And that's exactly why, even nearly 30 years after its release, Fallout 1 remains one of my favorite games in the series. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more retro RPG videos.